Hello. Welcome for another edition of the Great American Podcast with your host, Rob O'Boyle. And today we got a very special guest in the building today, Sir Evan Weiss.
Thank you.
Yes.
All of a sudden I'm British.
You are.
Sir, I've been knighted.
It's royalty. I got royalty in my presence.
And I wasn't special ed. I don't know if that's what you meant.
No.
Very special, slow.
No. I meant the good kind. I meant the official. Yeah, knighted by
started
the
out
Queen.
very special, then I was knighted. Sir Evan Weiss.
It was quite the evolution, from slow to knight. But how would you classify yourself? Like
fat. I don't know.
I mean, in terms of some people that come on, they're like, you can refer to me as an actor or a comedian or one title.
I have acted, but it was really a small role, and I'd rather not say.
No problem.
And I also I did a few episodes. I was a podcaster, stand-up comic, producer. I was a podcaster on 2 different shows, and also been on other people's shows. And I was on, we were on a show called Not Necessarily the Hamptons with my friend Michelle McDonald.
Okay, I know her.
It's kind of like a comedy version of The View. So she was the only woman, but it would be like more about comedy.
Okay.
Things Long Island centric.
Right.
We filmed it out of Lake Success, a hospital over there.
Northwell Health or whatever's over there. Or LIJ. I think they switched names or whatever.
I don't know.
They're always switching names. I don't know.
Yeah, but then pandemic hit and we stopped filming. Then we filmed a few in her house. And we're going to start filming again soon. But it was me and Michelle, Billy Geyer, Devin Giannini, Andy Plagianos, and we had another lady on. I can't remember her name right now. But then we're gonna have rotating guests sometimes.
Okay.
People can't make it, but that's what we did. We had a few episodes there, and it was kind of. I wanted to make it like talk about the news. It's like, no, it's, what do they call it? Green, when it's not seasonal on TV. There's a word for it. But anyway, it was like, I want to talk about this event. Well, you can't make it seasonal so they can run it all the time. I'm like, can we, I want to talk about some sort of...
Right.
And I want to be a little edgy, or they can't curse at all. It's like, you had to be super clean.
Right. Yeah.
And they didn't want to make it too political. It's just
I know. Yeah, well, that's the thing. One of the things I try to do here is just, whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's interesting is kind of the way that I feel, as long as it catches people's attention. It is what it is. Say what you want, say what you feel, don't have limits.
Me with this other guy, Rob Chaffee, and a few other friends of mine at the time. Years ago, we started one called Nobody Listens to Us podcast.
That's a good title for one.
We'd have famous comics or semi-famous pro comics. I don't know if they were all famous or
right,
but they'd call in and we'd talk about comedy. And I'm like, I wanted to talk about, and I get stories about comedy movies, and different comedy TV shows, or just funny stories. And the guy that was producing the show is like, no, we can't talk about that. You can't talk about that. You can't. I'm like, how many questions can you just talk about straight stand-up?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's people's lives and things happen in the world, and even comedy movies or TV shows or things that happen is like ridiculous. And then I was on another show, it was complete anarchy the other way. We were on the show, I was one of the co-hosts called Hate Speech Radio.
That says it all right there.
My friends Dave Harris and Heather Height.
Okay, I know Dave Harris.
You know Dave?
Yeah, a little bit, but
and not the famous Dave Harris.
No, trust me, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
not the famous Republican Dave Harris.
No.
You know the guy I'm talking about?
A little bit. I met him once or twice.
Oh, okay, so maybe. But our show was kind of like it wasn't political, but it was talk about. it was kind of like a takeoff on Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern. And
Okay, yeah. So really no limits.
No limits. But the thing was, they sometimes the first hour was good, and then I'm not much of a drinker. I might have one, but like everybody else in the show, either got really drunk and high.
Gotcha.
And then and we would do it once a week for like 4 hours. And sometimes the first hour, maybe hour and a half, was really good.
Right.
And then the other, like,
just got sloppy.
Sloppy. Someone would walk off the show. The guest I'd bring in was puking in the bathroom.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, well.
Crying and apologizing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you might want to rein it in a little bit in that sense. But, but that's good, too. I mean, I don't know. We had that's entertainment value.
Nick DiPaolo calling
Nick DiPaolo is great. Yeah.
This porn star.
Oh, who's that?
Jessie Lee. She was
Jessie Lee?
Yeah, she had tattoos everywhere.
I'm going to act like I don't know who that is. My mom might be listening. So, yeah. No, that's interesting. So you've done a few podcasts. Then
I was on Ron and Fez.
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that one.
They're on Sirius XM.
Okay.
Now it's just Bennington's show with his daughter.
Okay.
And I was on Opie and Anthony, and
you were on Opie. That's cool.
This
was a while ago. Opie and Anthony one. Obviously,
of course. Okay. Yeah, years ago. I didn't say anything, but I was on.
Okay.
I actually said a few things on Ron and Fez.
Right.
And then Artie Lang show, his podcast.
Oh, love Artie Lang, man.
And I was in his apartment on Hoboken, looking over the water, with my friend Stacy Pressman, Bob Levy, Twitchell's, and the other crazy dude. I can't think of his name right now.
I feel like Andrew Dice Clay or something.
No. He was, thank you. He's always on all those shows.
I know.
But we were all, and then he first time he's like, Evan, you've been doing comedy all these years. What's your biggest credit? And I go, well, it's the Mike Bichetti. That's what I was thinking. Mike Bichetti was also. They were all on.
Right.
We actually did 2 episodes. First one was pretty good. Second one, like Artie was a bit high. More high.
You're more high than usual. This is what I'm sure he was in his prime.
The first episode, he was doing pretty good after he wiped the blood away from his nose. And then the second one, he was just like dozing off a little bit, just picking on, because Levy had to go back to southern Jersey or somewhere, and he took Twitchell's with him, and so it was me and Stacy and Mike Bichetti. And he was kind of just picking on Bichetti.
Oh, really? The whole time?
Yeah, in the second episode.
Yeah.
So Artie goes, Evan, you've been doing comedy 20 years. What's your biggest credit? I go, well, it's the Artie Lang podcast. He goes, no, really? I go, yeah, the Artie Lang podcast.
Yeah. No, I believe it. Artie Lang, oh man, I love Artie Lang, and he's made quite a comeback too from a
I think he's staying low since the pandemic. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I see him every now and again, making a little post. But
has he made a post on Twitter?
I see a few here and now. He's doing like stuff with like Barstool Sports or something like that.
Because since the pandemic, he was laying low. I didn't see him do a post for months and months.
Well, I think just recently, like the past month or so, I feel like he's coming out of his shell a little bit. Hopefully,
the guy has 20 lives. I don't know how he's.
To say the least.
He literally stabbed himself when he was high on heroin.
Yeah. He's like a modern-day Richard Pryor kind of.
But I don't know how he's still alive.
He's got no nose. You saw that?
His nose, someone punched him in the face.
I think it was all the cocaine, too.
Yeah, the heroin, and someone punched him. He made up a story. He always tells you a story about how, but I heard the inside. I think someone tried to take the heroin away from him, punched him in the face.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a bad idea.
But besides that, he's just not I go to the gym, but I'm just a heavy guy, and I eat. I'm trying to get my eating down.
Yeah.
Just being that weight, I don't even know how he's a diabetic, and I don't even know how he's alive, just being a diabetic.
Well, again, he slimmed down quite a bit, though, too. I mean, I know he lost, because, again, I think he was on Joe Rogan not too long ago.
He looked a lot thinner,
talking about all his craziness his whole life. And
I'm in no way trashing him. I mean,
no.
He was funny.
He had his issues. It's fair criticism.
When you have those, it's never in the past. It's always a day-by-day thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
You have to say, they always say, it's one day at a time, and all those cliches.
Yeah. But
I've never had, I have my food issues, obviously, but I never had the drug and drinking issues. Not that I'm putting it down, but I've known people. My brother died of a drug overdose. It's a day-by-day thing if you want to be clean.
No, it really is.
It's day-by-day. I don't know how people even get clean once it's just in their system.
Well, first off, that's when they say you got to hit rock bottom. Which is hard to do. How do you even know when you hit rock bottom? I mean,
I don't know how.
Maybe when you're sucking dick, like, on a subway train, that's probably rock bottom, but, or under an overpass,
I would think stabbing yourself in the stomach
that sounds
on heroin.
like rock bottom.
But no, he was like, he would tell people he was sober for years,
and
then say, I'm sober again. No, I'm really sober this time.
Yeah.
And then he kept getting arrested.
Well, that's the problem. Is once you get that reputation, it's hard to ever get it back. Even when you do get clean.
And the fans would always go up to him after shows, and I heard stories. He would talk about this.
Well, like offer him shit, right?
Not that I'm friends on. I only been on his show once, but I'd listen from things he talked about this publicly when he would do shows, and the fans would offer him like pills or whatever after the show.
Yeah.
Pot, pills, whatever.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was, it's free stuff. And, when you got a problem, you're like, bring it on. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Especially fame. It does it to a lot of people.
Like he had these great stories of banging all these hookers and everything, expensive hookers and drugs. And it's amazing that this guy is
still alive. Still kicking.
He's got two cats' lives. He's got like 18 lives, this guy,
Well, you got to imagine it's going to come back and catch up to him at some point.
Farley only had a few years of that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, some guys, they catch a break. I mean, look at, who's the crazy guy? Charlie Sheen. I mean,
Charlie Sheen, yeah. And he's got
he was living with hookers for
AIDS, he's a crackhead.
Right. And he's also out of his mind.
I think that has to do with the crack he's smoking, too.
Yeah? You think that, like, what, that's making him immune to the STDs?
No, just being saying the crazy shit.
I'm sure.
Has he worked since? I think he's worked since. How do you
I think he does, like, cameos here or there.
No, but they gave him another show after 3.5 Men. He had another show on FX or something.
Well, he's a moneymaker.
He literally went after the producer and saying all these anti-Semitic things. How do you say that and still work in Hollywood?
Mel Gibson. That's a great question right there.
Well, a lot of
he made a hell of a comeback, and he makes good movies too.
Well, Mel Gibson would put up the money himself,
I guess so. True. But even so, I remember he was at the Oscars, like sitting front row, and they're like cheering him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, look, I mean, in the end, if you make good material and people love you and, you bring in viewers or whatnot, they'll look the other way,
I guess.
I don't know if that's right or wrong, but, they also do try to destroy everybody nowadays. I mean, Kevin Hart, perfect example. What did he make a tweet 10 years ago about his own son?
A light joke against gays or something.
It was about his son. It was something hysterical too. He's like, if I ever had a gay son, I'd like break a dollhouse over his head or something like that. Someone brought up a good joke. It's like, well, why would you buy a dollhouse in the first place?
I was watching Murphy's, I think, Delirious. One of his first or second one, he was talking about hitting his wife or something, and then making fun of gays and this, that, and like it would never go on the air today.
Yeah, well, that's why if anyone like a Chappelle or a Bill what's his last name?
Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr. I mean, I thought they were going to cancel the guy after his like SNL bit. Did you see that? Did you see the SNL bit?
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was totally great. If you understand what he's trying to do, you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to, intentionally offend people. He's telling it like he is or like how he sees it.
He's just trying to do jokes.
But, yeah, exactly. But when you get in front of those woke audiences, and again, have you been doing comedy like recently? At least
I haven't been on stage in a few months.
Yeah.
It's been a tough few months.
It's been a tough. I had John Ziegler on here not too long ago. You know John.
Yeah.
And I mean, he said basically it's his career is kind of, I don't want to say ruined, but it's certainly not in a good place.
And a lot of people, if you're not like super famous,
right,
you're not like touring right now,
right, and and even them, I know like again like Kevin Hart, he had to do he had coronavirus, and so he did he had to do a show from his house. I'm not feeling sorry for him, but
well, I saw Brian Regan. I was just curious who's performing when I was in Florida, who's performing in the clubs. And obviously the theaters are shut down, and Brian Regan's at a comedy club.
Yeah.
A year ago, you'd never see that because he's such a big name. He was performing in the theaters.
Right. So now you got to take what you can get.
I think at the West Palm Beach Improv.
Yeah.
I was curious. I spent like a month and a half down there.
Yeah.
Had a quarantine for 2 weeks since I've been back. So,
we're gonna say you're still in quarantine. We're 6 feet away right now. Don't worry.
No, it's been tough. My mom died.
Yeah, again, I'm sorry about that.
She had COPD, and I flew down there in October. She had heart failure from COPD. I spent like 22 days in October, like almost all in November, and then the next month she had a heart attack. And I spent almost all in November. Beginning of December, she had a mini stroke, and then the next day she had a major stroke.
Oh, man.
And I pretty much left the brain dead, and they put her in hospice. And then the second day in hospice, me, my dad, my brother all got COVID. And my dad has cellulitis, if you know what that is. It's like a skin infection.
Yeah.
So they were giving him like injections for...
He had that before the coronavirus?
Yeah, he spent... Oh, I forgot. He also spent like 2 weeks in the hospital in October.
Right.
Or November, yeah.
For something else? For
the cellulitis in his leg, yeah. And he's also going senile. So that's...
Man.
And then
I'm sorry to hear all that.
He spent a month in combined in the hospital and the rehab, and then when he went out, we went to see the grave together. They zoomed on the FaceTime the funeral when he was in the
you
hospital.
can't even have a normal funeral.
Well, we did have a normal funeral.
You were in Florida at the time?
Yeah, I spent
exceptions are a little.
Well, I spent a month and a half down there, and we buried my mom, and the nurse there FaceTimed the funeral, and when we got out, we saw the grave. We took my dad to the grave,
right.
And the rabbi said some prayers. There's a brand new cemetery in Lake Worth, beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's where she's laid to rest. Okay.
Yeah. He said some prayers.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy, trying to get my dad home health care aid, and
so he's still down there.
Okay. We're gonna get him in assisted living. It's very hard.
Yeah.
This is just imagine all these people who are just teetering with their health.
Right.
In Florida and especially Delray and Boca and all that. They need to go out, and maybe they won't get, but they need to get some sort of exercise.
Exactly.
And they say, don't go out. And now you put the fear of God in their lives,
right?
That they can't go out.
Yeah. No, there's this weird dichotomy where it's like they claim they're following the science in terms of stay indoors, stay away from other people, but then they don't take into exception that you still need to live a healthy lifestyle. Especially if you're older, you need to be active and so on and so forth. My
parents lived in this big a condo facility. There's thousands. I don't know how people, maybe a few thousand. So huge complex, and they have these walking paths. And I did see some people, but out of all these people, not many people walking.
Right. I'm guessing it's an older community.
Yeah, it's
too.
a retirement community.
Yeah.
I guess people are scared of their lives.
They are, I guess.
They shut down the clubhouse. They have a clubhouse, a beautiful clubhouse. They're afraid to reopen it. You know, people say, "Oh, Florida's reopening it." Yeah, to an exception.
To an extent, right.
Not really. You know, for the people who are still, especially the elderly, scared of their lives. They started doing the vaccines down there.
Right.
You know, they had these stupid. You know, Biden came in. He said, "We're going to have these mask mandates."
Right.
Mandates. People are still wearing the masks.
Yeah, they've already been wearing them.
Especially in Florida. They're wearing them in the supermarkets. Right. They're wearing them in shopping centers.
Right. They're just not wearing them like in their own homes, which, you know, is completely unreasonable to expect of most people.
It doesn't make sense. People have been wearing the mask.
Right, yeah.
They've been wearing it in every single state, pretty much.
And it really hasn't proved to be very effective. And now they're talking about the CDC came out with something about doubling up on masks. You should wear 2 masks now.
It's stupid.
And again, that's really what bothers me. It's okay. It's like one thing to put the suggestion out there, but where's the science? Where's the science?
I wear the mask wherever we go.
Yeah, I do it too. I think almost 99% of people do.
I don't argue with anybody with the mask, but everybody wears the mask. You don't need something to put in a law that something's already doing. Right. 99% of the people are already doing it.
And well, that's what I also don't like is it's not even a real law. It's an executive order.
Yeah, executive order.
So it's like he thinks he's king and he can just sign it.
And then on the first day, he broke his own executive order.
Right, you saw that?
In front of the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, the Democrats seem to have a knack of doing that. You know, Pelosi with her nail salon trip and Cuomo, you get to go down the list. I mean, it's
Gavin Newsom. He went out to a dinner with no mask.
Yeah,
with a lot of people.
Big group and some fancy, fancy French laundry or something like that.
Very expensive, very expensive restaurant. Yeah, Californians devastated. You can't do comedy in California. You can't do comedy in New York.
Yeah,
I saw a famous club. I think it was. Maybe the Laugh Factory, but one of the clubs that maybe the Comedy Store. They have a comedy store. They wanted to do an outdoor show, and before they were going to do the outdoor show, the government shut them down.
Yeah. I know. I think I remember Joe Rogan talking about that on the podcast.
Criminals, comedians are criminals now.
Basically, they basically are. I mean, that's the way they're being treated, you know. And not just that. Again, that's what I'm sure you feel the same way about. You know, the freedom of speech and the political correctness. Like, comedians are kind of the last bastion of truth tellers in a sense.
And even if you disagree with liberal jokes, I wouldn't want them to censor them on Facebook. Right. Facebook gets out of hand with their censorship now.
Out of hand? Oh my God, they're like overlords. They've gone crazy.
There's a tradition that one president writes a letter to the next president.
Yeah, Trump did that. Trump left a little letter,
and then. There was a joke post that Trump wrote, "You know I really won." Signed Donald Trump.
That's
something
funny.
to the extent, I'm paraphrasing.
Right. No, that's funny.
It was one sentence. It was, it's White House letterhead. It looked official, but obviously if you have a brain in your head, it's
probably not.
It's not real.
Yeah,
it's not real.
Yeah, it's hilarious as it would be.
Facebook put one of those fact checker things on my post. This isn't real. I'm like,
on your own post, on your own reposting of it or whatever.
I posted that, and then they put this isn't real.
Yeah. They've gotten completely out of it. It's like they have no sense of humor. They don't, and again, they're just censoring one side of the aisle. They're just censoring
for jokes.
I know. I'm telling you, they're coming after everything.
A stupid joke.
Yeah.
So I reposted it and put this was actually fact checked.
Right. Yeah. Do you take a picture of what they did and then you repost that and you're like, I
had to put on the picture.
Right.
Fact check this. Right. This is. Obviously, if you have a brain in your head, you know this isn't real.
Right.
And they actually put a fact check on that.
It's crazy. And I wonder what their algorithm, I wonder how they're finding out, like something like.
They have an algorithm. Republican, any story from Fox or OAN or, there was a story of a video of during the election, they kicked everybody out of the room in Georgia, and a woman pulls a suitcase under the table.
Yeah.
And they start counting those.
New ballots.
It was a video.
Yeah.
They sent everybody off to dinner. Then they pulled a suitcase. It was a video of this. And then Facebook had this was not to be true. What do you mean, a video's not to be true?
Right. No, they'll tell you, literally, you're seeing something with your own eyes. And they'll tell you, no, there's nothing really to see here. Yeah, and they'll be like, fact check this, and that's how bad it's gotten. Is even video is not good enough evidence, So
there were poll watchers. It's legal to have poll watchers on both sides.
You have to. It's mandatory.
Mandatory. They literally kick people out in Detroit.
Right. Kicked them out, or they put them 25 feet away. They said they were using binoculars in some cases. They couldn't even see.
There was video of a truck pulling out coolers at like 3 a.m. in Detroit.
Yeah.
In Michigan, Detroit. In Philadelphia, they kicked out the poll watchers and then cheered them and put goodbye on the windows. These are all.
Or they boarded them up. You saw some of that. They boarded up
the windows.
They put up like black screens all over the windows so you couldn't see
this
inside.
This is not fake news.
No,
or
this
not
is clear evidence. There's clear video of it. And if we can't believe video, then.
This is not fake news or imaginary things.
No.
These are things that literally happen.
People signed affidavits, like you're going to sign an affidavit.
There were thousands of mail-in with no signature verifications.
They threw that right out the window. Democrats are like, let's not worry about verifying signatures. You
can't verify signatures.
Of course. And you had the dead people voting, and then there was just a case of a woman in Texas who was ballot harvesting.
Yeah, but I think she was. That woman, I think she was against Trump.
Was she against?
No, I think she was
Biden?
I think she was for Trump.
All right. Well, look. At least they're catching whomever does it, but that just shows that it happens.
But even if she was anti-Trump, it was Texas. He won Texas.
This is true, but a slim margin, because they're getting bluer and bluer. Because as people have fled, like New York and other states, California, they're moving to Texas.
Apparently, they had minors voting, illegal immigrants. And
that's all true. Of course. The Democrats wanted to drop the voting age down to 16.
Yeah.
Could you believe that? 16-year-olds voting?
I can't go across the street and buy cigarettes because I look like I'm 18,
Right.
In my head,
you're very youthful. No. Trust me.
But I can't go across the street and buy cigarettes or any nicotine product without showing my ID.
You can't even get Dayquil or NyQuil or whatever.
I can't buy beer, but you can go in and vote and you don't have to show your ID.
Isn't it the craziest thing?
You can mail in whatever you want.
Right.
You don't have to show ID.
No, and people are doing it for their neighbors. They're doing it for someone who hasn't lived in the house for 30 years. Oh, they got someone else's wrong mail. Let me just send it in. But that's what bothers me. Again, how many times do you hear you watch the news? I'm sure a lot.
Yeah.
You watch Fox News primarily or something like that?
Yeah,
even so. Yeah, I don't know. Are you a big Tucker Carlson fan?
I would love to be open-minded, but usually it's hard to be. Other networks make me sick.
Yeah, I'll try to turn on. Yeah, right. That's basically all you got. No, even today, I'll try to turn on CNN every once in a while just to see if they're being any more reasonable, and of course not. After 2 minutes, I'm like, no, they're still the same old nonsense.
I was listening to Mark Levin, very conservative.
Mark Levin, yeah.
And the things they were saying right after Trump got elected, he's Hitlerian. They called him, his speech was Hitlerian.
Yeah. Did you see the front page of the Daily News when they put a picture of him as Hitler?
Of Hitler.
Yeah. I mean,
they literally called him Hitler. They didn't give him a honeymoon of one day.
No. He was barely even in office.
Biden's speech this time, he was Jesus-like. I'm not making this up.
No.
People were calling him Jesus-like.
Yeah. Because his call for unity apparently gave him sainthood. They made Anthony St. Fauci Day. Did you see that?
Ridiculous.
I mean, on Christmas Eve.
But years ago, I think I'm a little bit older than you.
Maybe a few. Well, you're still, what did you say? 35, I think, right?
Yeah, let's lie. I'm 46.
46.
But years ago, I remember in the 80s and growing up, at least they'd fake it in the news. They'd fake their biases in the news. They were hard against Reagan and Bush.
Right.
But you didn't see the hard biases until it was like Bush the first
one. Okay, because I can certainly even remember the Bush the younger. That's when for at least for me again, that's when it really started. Like they were nasty. I mean,
they were very biased, but it got worse even with Bush Jr.
I think it got 10 times worse.
GW, the guy he still won 2 elections, and by the second election, they was trashing him. And that's when Obama won. And yet they even called, but the original Hitler was Bush. They said that Reagan was evil. He killed all the gays. They accused Reagan of causing AIDS.
Yeah, that's a common one. Yeah,
yeah. These are things that's been going on for many years. But the original Hitler was G.W. Bush.
Yeah. Yeah,
he won on a landslide.
I know.
This the second time.
I know it wasn't even close, but that's when I really feel like it started to get nasty. Because again, he's a good man and he's a good guy. Didn't say nearly the controversial things that even Trump has, but they just didn't care, because I remember when he got the shoes thrown at him.
Yeah,
but they thought they were mocking him for weeks on end about that, or remember we couldn't open that door or something like that once, and it's like. Jesus, the guy's a human being. But
do you remember when Mitt Romney ran?
Yeah, sure.
They called him racist and him this.
Right.
And
right. They even made fun of his Mormonism.
Made fun of his religion.
Yeah.
His Mormonism and made fun of this. But he just says yes to he's a liberal that's just naming Republican in name only.
Exactly.
Another Rhino.
Yeah.
He only won because of Trump's support.
Yeah.
And now it seems to be anybody that's bitter because he thinks he's better and he should have won the presidency.
Oh, he thinks he's the most moral person on the face of the earth. He's always giving speeches railing against Trump, and it's like, well, yeah, you should have won the presidency actually, but
he should have won the second debate. And I think it was Crowley, the cut him off, and she wouldn't let him talk, and he took it, and the press would say he's racist and he's evil and he's Hitler-like, and now he just wants to go as long as the press likes him. Once he's in there, it was the Republican state of his state that got him elected.
Yeah.
And now he's anti-Trump. He's anti-Republican.
I know. And there were a few of those kind of Jeff Flake, the other guy, and even Lindsey Graham. I used to love Lindsey Graham. He's flip-flopping all over the place. You know? So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know.
Let's go talk about something simple. The riots or the insurrection, they called it.
The Capitol Hill?
Or Schumer liked to call it Trump's erection. Trump's erection. He actually said that. But
Schumer's a piece of work.
It was a few people. Yeah, some people did die. But all of a sudden, Democrats are against riots.
Right.
All summer. Not saying that one riot's better. All summer, even this riot's in Portland now.
Yeah, they're still going on.
They're not doing anything.
No.
Nobody denounced it. Nobody denounced Antifa.
No, you never hear that. Even remember the first debate with Chris Wallace moderating, and he's going after Trump asking him about white supremacy for like the 50,000th time. And he's like, well, why don't you ask Biden about Antifa? And Chris Wallace he's another one of those that he's a Republican in name, but a liberal at heart. It's like just a little bit of fairness. That's all people's asking for. Just ask the other guy the same question. Is it that hard?
The waddling penguin Nadler was asked about.
I'm so ashamed he's from New York.
Antifa. And he goes, oh, there's no such thing.
They say that all the time. They just act like it doesn't even exist, that it's like a made-up right-wing, alt-right-wing conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy.
Remember when Nancy Pelosi said that the nail salon thing was a setup? Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was a setup.
It was a setup, yeah, because that's we have nothing better to do except to try to catch her without a mask at a nail salon.
Everything's a setup and everything's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, people are losing businesses left and right, and all they care about is keeping power.
It was the first riot in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, well, the George Floyd thing was in Minnesota, and that's what sparked all the chaos. And once they let that police department burn down, you remember that?
Yeah.
That was it. That was the sort of the spark.
But the Democrats never said anything about that. The police department.
Not only did they not go after the rioters or the protests, they went after the police department. They defunded them. They got rid of them literally in Minnesota. Now you've seen the spikes in crime everywhere, and they're even suing the NYPD over the riots because they said they were too brutal. Meanwhile, how many cops were injured? Some were stabbed, some were beaten, they were clubbed. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a crazy. But now they love the police after the Capitol riots. You saw that?
You can't even have a happy medium or honest discussion. If you criticize or say anything, you're racist, you're Republican.
That's what they go right to, racist, bigot, because they feel like that's the biggest dig. That's what's going to cost you your job. That's what's going to cost you your livelihood, your friends,
I've been
so
watching
on and so forth.
On YouTube. That's really good reporter Tim Pool.
Yeah. No, Tim Pool. Yeah. Smart guy, good guy.
He's great at his podcast because he's a guy who started out really on the left, traditional liberal. Yeah. But he sees the lies of the mainstream media and will call him out on that.
Right. And he's one of those that just, slowly morphed over. And I think you're seeing that more and more. Again, I think Joe Rogan, if you watch him, he becomes but he's becoming more conservative. He has, if you see the guests he has on too.
He's still a traditional liberal,
He's a traditional liberal is not the end of the world because they used to believe in free speech.
Yeah, he's pro-free speech.
Guns. He owns guns. So, if you go back to the traditional Democrats, the Bill Clinton ones even, the ones that made the 1994 crime bill, which is apparently the worst bill now ever made.
Yeah, which was sponsored by Biden.
Right. They were reasonable back then, cared about the budget, didn't care about, they wouldn't just print, trillions of dollars recklessly that we can't ever pay back.
No.
So that's where it was more civil. It was really just policy differences. Now it's cultural. It's all cultural. And you can't say anything. That's why sometimes I have hard trouble, probably getting people on the podcast sometimes because they're just terrified that they're just going to say even one thing that, is going to, I don't know, ruin their career or their job is going to find them on, Facebook. And
I was posting nothing so offensive. I said riots are bad during the riots. Someone went after me, said they wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
This female comedian said they wanted to kill me.
Really? And this is a comedian coming from a comedian. That's what shocks me.
She said I'm racist because I said riots are bad.
Trust me, I get that all the time. I said something about the Chinese just starting the coronavirus, and they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't blame all Chinese people.
You didn't.
Obviously, I'm not
from there.
Yeah, I said it came. It was originally. Remember when the media called it the Wuhan virus?
It was originally called the Wuhan virus.
Yeah, and then it morphed into COVID because they didn't want to tie it to one ethnicity.
They don't want to tie it to.
And it's just, it's this. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where it all came from exactly, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Like how did we get to this place? Not even just the division. But, the people on the quote-unquote left, their mindset. I try to understand it so, maybe we can eventually meet somewhere in the middle. But I don't know where they got it from.
I think a lot of it has to do with money because if everything, they report honesty and things are a status quo, I think.
No one will watch kind of thing.
No one will watch. I think the people that do watch the CNNs want to be stirred up and want to hate and want to be stirred up. If you're not going to be stirred up, whether you're far left, far right, they're not going to say those things.
Yeah, I think they're kind of angry and bitter in their own lives. And then
I think maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
That maybe it is just about money. If if they keep an honest press. And if things weren't stirred up and get people angry, people wouldn't be watching. Maybe it is. I mean, that's the only rational Well, maybe they just do believe a far left or far right.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Why? Because I can never understand the extremist thing. You know what I'm saying? Because America's kind of never been an extremist nation. We've always kind of been, down the middle. We've always tried to. We've had our differences, of course. We've come a long way. We had a civil war, for Christ's sake.
You have CNBC. You have MSNBC, CNN. Right, those three bigs.
Yeah.
And they're far left.
Yeah.
And the rights are
really just Fox
News, and,
OAN,
and Newsmax.
Yeah.
And honestly, wouldn't you want someone to be in the middle reporting facts?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you look at the polling and stuff, people always complain. Look, I want news. I want hard, straight news. But I don't know. Do they really mean that? Like you said, do you want to just hear the rundown of today's events? So on and so forth.
You can have your left wing host on the prime time slots, 8 p.m. up on the right, and on the left you can have your regular right and left.
Yeah,
but on the news side, it used to be factual.
Right.
The Cronkites,
exactly.
Maybe he was a liberal, but he would just report the news about Vietnam. I was too young, but back in the day, Jennings, and they would just report the news.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a little bit anti-right,
anti-war, a little anti-right,
but more anti-Republican. But you didn't know,
right?
But But you'd have to say the way they would phrase things and words things.
Right.
And you say, why would they say something so? You got to read into it. But like even 4 years ago, it's not even something so. That you have to look into. That was Hitler speaking.
Yeah. I can remember when John Brokaw, renowned world, respected.
John?
I think it's John Brokaw. You know, it's John Brokaw.
Yeah.
But he compared
Is it Peter Brokaw?
Who's that? Peter Brokaw?
Brokaw?
Yeah, I think it's Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw. Yeah. I just remember when he did a whole piece on how. When immigration was a big issue when Trump first came in, and "kids in cages" was their favorite slogan, and he basically did a whole documentary on comparing it to internment camps during World War II.
Yeah,
and I'm like, who are you really? Doesn't that just do you not run that by anybody? Does your editor not say, "Hey, this seems like a bit of a stretch"? Like, do we really think? Trump is going to be starting internment camps and putting the Mexicans at, what I'm saying? Like, the comparisons they make are so far-fetched. And it's this weird word association that they do. Like, if you think, I was just talking about this the other day, like, take the word man and say the word to a liberal. Say,
I'm offended.
Exactly. What do you think of when you think of man?
Person.
They say, or they say, but they just immediately they go, oh, toxic, or if you say white, they go, oh, supremacy, or if you say, Republican, oh, evil, or, Trump, Hitler.
Nazi,
so, there's no common ground, I don't know. There's no, they look at their worldview is just so hostile, so negative. Do you know Jordan Peterson? Do you know who he is?
That sounds familiar. I think I've seen him on some of the shows.
I talk about him a bit, but he does.
Was he on? He was on Rogan, right?
He was on Rogan, and he's been doing a lot of stuff lately. But he's not even American; he's Canadian. But that's a lot of the stuff that he talks about. Yeah, you should watch him. He's very interesting. But just. Nothing. He gets called racist, a bigot, Nazi. He also gets called like a Jewish sill. You know what I'm saying? So he gets it from both ends of the spectrum. But he's just one of those guys that just, he's a straight shooter. He believes in sort of traditional values and roles.
Well, Shapiro gets called a Nazi.
Shapiro gets called a Nazi too. It's it's one of the craziest things.
A religious Jew gets called a Nazi.
I know. It's
insane.
Anything crazier than that? Yeah, that just shows you the state of the world that we're in.
He keeps kosher, everything by the book of...
Yeah, literally kosher.
Yeah. They call him a Nazi.
They call him a Nazi, yeah. Because that's their word. That's their go-to word. They feel like that hurts the most. You know what I'm saying? So, and they don't look at you as like a Jewish, white man, or, you're white skinned, you got no pigmentation, immediately you're just lumped into the same group. I think
they stopped teaching critical thinking in college.
Oh, totally. Now it's critical race theory, if anything.
Critical race theory and back... I'm not trying to defend Clinton, but Clinton was
go
somewhat
ahead.
of a moderate.
He was.
As far as financial stuff and things like that, blowjobs.
Those are always good.
But the second Biden took office, he eliminated the 1776 project. Was a project that Trump started, was to promote America. There's nothing racist about that.
Right.
That just shows how far the left has come, that they don't want to even promote your own country.
No, right. And that's the craziest thing.
That seemed as racist.
Right.
To promote the history of your own country.
Which is something you would think they would be kind of critical. That's the problem. The kids aren't being taught that in schools nowadays. Again, I was talking about that just on the podcast the other day.
Day one, eliminate fracking, the XL pipeline.
He's already gotten rid of that. You know, he wants to go back to Saudi Arabian oil and being beholden to them. I mean, those just seem so. It's illogical to me. Like I can't comprehend their world's view. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't understand what it's.
There's got to be a happy medium that we're not destroying the earth.
Right.
Say, hey, how about we put a commission? Will this hurt people? Fracking or
right? Well, I thought that's what the EPA was for, but apparently not.
Is the pipeline helping people? Will it destroy the environment if we keep doing it?
Right.
No, day one, they want to just get rid of it.
Yeah, and I don't even think it was that. I think they were worried. You know, remember there was the whole fight about the Native Americans and like it was going through their land or whatever. And Trump was like, "Look, you know, I understand your land is precious, or precious." You know, so just to stop something like that. What do you do now? Do you undo it? Do you just stop it mid-construction? The same with the wall. Are you going to tear it down and spend
they want
billions?
to have open borders, so they have illegals voting in the election, so they lose Texas.
Right, exactly.
So Texas will just be a blue state.
Exactly. And that's the worry. Is those typical. Look at Georgia, right? I mean, that you would think that was a typical red state.
The Dominion. I think they had the
Dominion voting system.
Dominion.
It was the same thing they used in Venezuela. That one. And Nancy Pelosi and some of these, they have actual stocks like money in those voting systems.
Is it wrong to me to be devil's advocate and say, hey, how can it be 49 to 50% in the last election between the two senators? Exactly, both were leading by 1%, and around 1 a.m. they shut everything down, and the next morning they both won by 1%, 49 to 50 exactly. Yeah. What are the odds? 49 and 50%.
Trust me, you don't have to play devil's advocate on that one. I completely agree because I remember looking at the polls were like 20 minutes away from closing. Each other Republicans had like a 10% lead, and then magically the polls closed and they eke it out by like 1,000 votes each or something like that. And it's like, what am I supposed to think? You know? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not one of those kind of people.
They want to impeach a president who's not even in office anymore.
I know.
You can only impeach someone that's still in office.
Well, once you start the proceedings, apparently, you can continue them.
No, they can't. I don't think you can.
Supposedly.
There was like one person years ago. It was like a senator. They started to do that, but then he ended up quitting. But you can't impeach someone who's not even he's a citizen. He's not president anymore.
Right. Well, they're talking about.
So it doesn't make sense.
We're talking about Biden giving him a pardon, but I'm like, for what? First of all, what are you giving him a pardon for? Like, I don't think he did anything wrong.
I don't think Biden knows where he is.
Yeah. Do you honestly? So, do you think he'll still be there 4 years from now, or you think?
No, I don't think he'll. Be alive.
You don't think he'll be alive?
He's a very sick man.
In a lot of ways. I'm surprised he hasn't caught coronavirus yet.
Who's Kamala going to have as vice president?
Probably nobody. She's probably just going to take both positions. You know,
have someone.
That's the kind of person I think she is.
A crazy, wacky lefty like AOC.
Oh my God! If that happens
as vice president,
I don't know what I'd do. I know.
And God forbid, if anything happens, you see AOC as president.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala has a slip down the steps while AOC's vice president.
AOC.
Oh man, you know her real name, right? Her real name is Sandy Cortez.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's not Alexandria.
No. That was to try to placate the Hispanic community when she was running in her district to defeat that old white guy.
Okay.
No, she's from Westchester, like upper middle class. First name Sandy, but to seem a little more hip, and in with the crowd that was going to be voting for her, she decided to change her name. Yeah. Well, on a happier note, on any kind of happier notes, there's anything else? I don't know. So you obviously do comedy.
Well, I'm going to start doing it again.
What are your plans? So what are you
Maybe I'll do some open mics.
Okay.
Maybe get on my friends' shows in Jersey. Obviously, they had some rooftop shows in the city, but I never did any of those. But maybe I'll do some of Perillo's mics.
That's what I was looking at. I know.
Maybe
I was talking to him.
weeks.
And I'd like to get around there. And
I think he's been doing it One-Eye Jacks.
Yeah.
Beth page.
Yeah, because I originally was told Ziggy's Pub or something like that, but then I think they're closed.
Yeah, I think they sold that place.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, have you been to comedy shows in general? Like, watched any lately, or
I haven't. No.
Can you even go anywhere? Is everything on like Zoom now? I don't even know how it works.
No, I think if you step out of your house, you're shot.
You're shot. Is that how it works?
You're gunned down.
If
you're white and you leave your house,
you're done. It's done.
Especially if you don't have a mask on, you're a white supremacist.
Yeah, forget it. You're gonna need to have a face shield and a hazmat
Even though I'm
suit.
a Jew and I'll have.
Yeah, you're a Nazi.
I
apparently.
leave my house. I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
Any Republican is a Nazi. That's what they say.
Well,
right?
apparently they're forming commissions now, and anyone who supported Trump, and
all of a sudden the Democrats are for the police,
exactly,
and insurrection,
exactly.
They're against riots,
exactly.
All summer long.
Yeah, and then as soon as it happens to them, it's like, oh, where are those cops? Where are those people that I hated and wanted to defund? Yeah.
And there was a few shootings, but it wasn't like.
Well, I felt so bad for that one woman in particular that died. She was a Trump supporter, and she had been like in Iraq and a Navy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like he just shot into a crowd.
Is that what happened?
But during the summer riots, there was a few shootings. They
were killing cops. And again, if Black Lives mattered so much, how about there were black cops who died?
Yeah.
And no one seemed. I remember that guy David Dorn, I think it was in Minnesota. He was shot while protecting a jewelry store or something like that of his friends that was robbed.
But some
Nobody
you
cared.
got to take
Nobody
things
cared.
case by case basis. There was the guy from Wendy's. I think that was Georgia. Was that Georgia?
Atlanta,
Atlanta.
Georgia, yeah.
The guy fell asleep drunk in the Wendy's drive-thru.
Right.
They called the cops.
Right.
And you saw the video. It started out, the police did everything by the book.
Right, exactly.
They were nice, respectful. They weren't confrontational, sir. Everything okay? Please get out of the car. They didn't, pin him to the ground, put a neck on him. He literally stole their taser.
Yeah.
Ran away, stole their taser, and shot at the cops.
Yeah. He tried to point back and shoot the taser, right? I think it was.
Now, you have seconds. Does he have a real gun?
Right.
Is the taser going to kill me? You don't know.
Right.
That's a real gun. What's going on? As a cop, you have that to think.
Exactly.
And he shot him dead.
Right.
Now, is that a racist incident?
Anyone logically knows no.
No, they're white supremacist cops.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, they went after that guy hard. I think they're still going after him, right? I think I don't know.
Oh, they went after him. They had a DA that went after him right away.
Yeah.
And then and the thing is, why burn down the Wendy's? What does Wendy's have to do with anything? And that just hurt me.
That just hurt you.
Right there,
Wendy's just particularly.
Right in the belly,
Jesus, one less Wendy's in the world.
Why would you? But seriously, what did the Wendy's have to do with any of that?
Nothing, of course. And that's what it is. They just get angry. They're like, okay, this is where the incident happened. And then they'll associate any kind of corporation with white America and white supremacy, and then just like, let's just burn it down, even if it's in their own community. How many times did they do that with those riots?
Yeah.
They burned down black businesses, black-owned businesses. They would, they were accosting and mugging and killing other blacks,
and then
all in the name of.
I'll play devil's advocate. Oh, it's just a business. This is somebody's life. Yeah, it's somebody's business that was employing people.
Right, who
to
probably live in that neighborhood.
to help feed their families.
Right,
You have a
right.
manager to feed and the people that work there to feed their families. And
Right.
guess what? They don't have, and the people that live in that community, they want a cheap cheeseburger or chili or whatever, and you
Right.
you
Exactly.
burn down.
They probably wanted a cheap cheeseburger right after they burned it down. They're probably
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, should have gotten a burger. Should have stolen a burger first."
Why?
Before
What is?
no,
How does that?
That's what I'm saying. There isn't real. I don't really know the logic behind it. And
They
that's
say
what's-
systemic racism, and people don't even. They just throw out these
they
words.
don't even know what it means. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does Wendy's have to do with systemic racism?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They make these crazy assertions like, remember the word owner for a while? It was like, I don't know if you're like Draymond Green, the basketball player, and this is a few others, but they wanted to ban the word owner because they associated that.
They own the black people.
Right.
Yeah.
And they own with slavery, and they
Yeah.
make these crazy, distant, like out there connection. It's like you could do that with anything. You could compare me to Hitler because, well, we're both men. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it ends. So they do these.
Oh, they had to get rid of. Years ago, Marge Schott, she was the worst. She literally opened her mouth and say the most anti-Semitic and racist things. They literally took away the Reds from her.
What's her name again?
Marge Schott.
Marge Schott.
Marge Schott. She used to own the Reds.
Oh, right. I remember this
And
story.
she opened up her mouth and said the most racist and
Okay.
stupid things.
Yeah. Well, look what they did to Donald Sterling of the Clippers.
Well, sometimes you got to shut your mouth. You know?
Well, he was in the privacy of his own home. And did you listen to that video? Did you ever listen?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
It
you
was
gotta,
pretty tame.
Yeah,
I don't even think he
I
used
know.
like the N word or anything like that. And I'm like, this guy's in a private, and he's dating a black girl for Christ's
Yeah.
sake, so he can't.
Well, she put it out there. She recorded it and
she
put it
set
out
him
there.
up. And in California, that's legal. You can just record somebody without their consent.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's legal in California to record someone without their consent.
no, that's what I'm saying. I think it is. I think it is.
No, I don't think
Really?
it is in that state.
Because she got away with it then.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think if when it's used for a court or something, but I don't think they use it. I don't think it's legal.
Really? Well, she got away with it somehow.
Yeah.
But if I was him, look, I don't know. He's an older guy, and he was a Jewish guy too. He was a Jewish,
Yeah.
Donald Sterling. I would have fought that. I mean, I don't know. I know how it works. If the other owners vote you out, you're screwed pretty much.
But sometimes the cancel culture has gone too far, especially Facebook, Twitter. They go after, this Republican, and you got to go this one. Oh, then they're going after, the president. Twitter banned 77,000 accounts.
That. Yeah.
And they went after the president on Facebook, Instagram. You can't-
Parler, they got rid of Parler completely.
How do you get rid of a whole
Instagram platform,
A whole
social media, whole app.
That's just like collusion to another
and it happened like that
to another
too,
business.
And that was scary.
There's laws against colluding against another business.
I thought there were.
That's legal to go after another business
No,
and shut them down.
of course not. But these Googles. I thought we hated monopolies too in this country. I thought we had antitrust laws.
No, you're allowed to go after if the. Somehow it was just another platform. I don't think they were Republican, but it was an open platform.
It was just a more open-minded platform that
they-
didn't condone any kind of hate speech or anything like that. They just were like, "Look, we're not going to regulate everything."
But that was their excuse.
That was their
to get rid of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the way they just, canceled them just like that. Meanwhile, you can post nude pics and any kind of nonsense you want on like Instagram or
On
Facebook.
Twitter,
yeah.
not on Instagram.
Well,
they'll take
yeah,
you
one
down.
of those. Yeah, but
Twitter, you can post nude.
Twitter, and they're making the
Not
comparison.
that I have. I don't think anybody wants to see me nude.
Yeah, I got to stop posting them.
You posting nude pictures?
Not nude pictures, but unfortunately, I attract a little bit of the gay community, and they're like, "Hey, you need an OnlyFans count." I'm like, "No, that's a little too far." I could use the money, but I'm not that desperate. But yeah, it's gotten out of control, and I fear it's only going to get worse. And
I got to go to the bathroom.
no, hey,
Can we take
go.
a-
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Can we take a quick break, Rob? Yeah.
Can we take a quick break?
Yeah, no problem.
I'll run to the
No,
bathroom.
take your time. Take your time, man. All right, and we're back. Just had to take a quick break. And
yeah, I couldn't hold it in anymore.
No worries. Happens to me all the time, because you start talking, you get thirsty, you got a drink, and then,
I have to pee so often.
I'm already there. In the middle of the night, I'm the worst. I'm waking up like 3-4 times. I'm like,
oh,
Jesus.
yeah, you're already there.
Yeah, I'm like, how big is my prostate?
Well, it's all the caffeine. You got that giant caffeine thing you got there.
I know. Well, I was a little tired today, but I got to lay off that stuff. It's like, it gives you like the jitters, you know what I'm saying?
I take the one a day, a small one a day, like energy drink, sugar-free.
Is it the 5 hours stuff? Is that what we do?
No, it's I get it from the Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, whatever works, man. Is it effective? Does it work?
Yeah. When it's either that one or the Arizona iced tea, sugar-free iced tea one.
Oh, okay.
That or the other one.
That's got caffeine in it?
Yeah, the sugar-free caffeine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, look, you need a little pick-me-up every once in a while.
How long you been doing stand-up comedy?
Well, that's a good question, because
I know we were talking about politics.
I wanted to actually get into that a little more. No, I did it. I haven't really been doing it again since the coronavirus thing.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been focusing on this more, and actually music and stuff too. But no, I did it for like 2 years.
Okay.
This is probably going back from like 26 really to like 28. And
28, what? Your age?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, you did it in the future?
You did not.
I'm like,
2020.
2020. What year is it?
Yeah.
How long did I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, you're going a while.
Did I go through a time warp?
No. But no, I would just still do,
What'd you do? Open mics?
Did open mics, did governors, stuff like that.
Did you go to the city, doing bringers in the city, or open mics in the city?
Yeah, I did this stand up in New York a couple of times, and I got lucky because I knew a few people, so I didn't have to always do like the bringer show. I got brought up on, I got paid a few times, but I just. With work and everything, and it was hard to always, just to do it continuously, and I didn't want to get up there and look like an idiot.
What do you do for your day job?
Well, so I'm actually switching jobs. I was a paralegal, but now I just basically just quit, and I'm going back to personal training, which is what I used to do with when I was younger.
You quit with another job there. So
yeah, and then I'm actually doing another job part-time, coaching, teaching baseball.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And it's pretty good money.
Well, you're doing stuff that makes you happy.
That's exactly what it is. And again, I think it was part of the coronavirus thing. Like, I always loved baseball and fitness, and I loved politics. I went to school for politics, but again, like, I got so out of shape during the coronavirus thing. I gained like 30 pounds and lost like a lot of muscle.
You look great. Did you lose it?
I lost it, and so I've been going back. I've been bad the past month or so, really. Kind of once the holidays hit, and I was like, and I had some back surgery.
Oh, really?
So, I had to remove something next to my spine. That was
how's your back
grown.
now?
It's all right now. It's been all right now, but it was a rough month there. But I couldn't wait because it was getting bigger, and it's like it's gonna press on your spinal cord and so on and so forth.
I gained a lot of weight, and then had surgery. I lost some, and then I gained it back. And
it's hard. It's hard.
If I have to really focus, when you hit a certain age, if you don't eat like every meal perfectly, then you just put on the
it comes right back. And for men, it all goes right here.
Even like,
it's like I need some in my ass.
I stay. Well, I'm nothing against that. But if you eat bad, you just stay a certain weight. Even if you eat bad, you'll gain. Even if you work out. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Like my nutritionist would say, it matters what you eat.
To an extent, but you do need to work out. Also, as you get older, once you hit 30, not to be too scientific, but you start to lose about 3 to 5% of your muscle mass,
and your hormones too.
Yeah,
right?
All that. Your testosterone drops. So that's why there's a lot of guys now, hitting 30, taking testosterone replacement. Yeah, I can see that as like the way of the future, but. I'm just waiting for the anti-aging, pill or drug or whatever that is. Whenever that happens, that's a real thing. I mean, they're working on that. Yeah. I saw actually in Israel, in Tel Aviv, they did some study with hyperbaric chambers, which is supposed to speed up healing and stuff. And they did like a long study for 3 months and found that they reduced the basically the cell, the cells in these old people over 65 and older by about 25 years.
Wow.
So it was a pretty big breakthrough. So who knows?
I'm actually 150.
Yeah, I could. You look pretty damn good.
Good for my age.
Yeah. You a lot
Some
of
people lie
chambers,
about their age. I did too, but I'm really younger.
Yeah. Well, if you tell them you're older, and you look great.
You look good for 150.
Exactly,
you go the other way.
Exactly.
So I'm actually 150.
150. I like that. Yeah, I know.
I look good. Good.
Yeah, you look a lot better than like Dumbledore or one of those. Yeah, he looks 150. But no, I mean, back to comedy. I mean, again, so tell me a little bit about your, how you got into comedy
my first time was a bringer in 1995.
Okay.
I brought 3 of my friends, Stand Up New York, and I think Tom Papa was the host.
Oh, Tom Papa. All right,
and I did 8 minutes. I was nervous as hell, and I didn't know where to go, so I just would call up the clubs, and I literally drove before GPS. GPS.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah.
I drove before everybody had a GPS on their phone, and I drove out here to Nassau, just kept asking directions till I got to the comedy clubs.
Yeah.
And I said, when's the open mic? Well, really don't have an open mic this night, but if you come Tuesday, and then I went to the brokerage, and we really don't have an open mic. I said, okay. And then I drove to the Chuckles. Well, we have an open mic Thursdays. And Chuckles was in Mineola. So I'd go, Tuesday was like their, they called it a showcase night.
Okay.
And if you hung out there enough, Peter Bales, he still does comedy, very funny guy, one of the best hosts. And all the best comics from Long Island, the city, famous, and if you hung out there enough, he would put you up on stage on the Tuesday. Yeah.
Right.
But
is Chuckles still there?
No, Chuckles, it became a restaurant, and there was a fire there a few months ago.
Oh.
And my friend was doing comedy nights there like once every month or so.
Right.
And he had his equipment there, and it burned down with his equipment in there. But he said he got it back, and I don't think it's destroyed.
Okay, with that insurance money or something like that?
No, I don't know what happened, but his equipment's fine, his mic stuff and all that.
Right,
Because they were doing comedy there like once a month there, I think it was.
Okay.
And somehow they had a fire overnight.
Yeah, mysteriously.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So like if people were to listen to your kind of comedy, what kind of comedy do you do as well?
It's pretty much. I don't
Are you
really,
like a clean guy, a dirty guy?
A little bit dirty,
political,
but
not political. Yeah.
Really don't. That's the thing. I really didn't even talk about too much politics on stage. It takes a strong writer and strong skilled, whether you're Republican, you're a Democrat, or somewhere in the middle, to write good joke politically. Because if you write a joke that's too far left, too far right, or whatever, you might upset half the audience.
Yeah, you lose them, and then yeah. So it's look. I always say, as long as it's funny and you tell it right, you can tell any joke. Look at Louis C.K. or something. I mean, he tells some of the most. He makes fun of like 9/11.
Yeah,
for Christ's sake.
If you do it good,
if you do it right, people will laugh, and you might upset. You're always going to upset like one person.
And it's pretty much self-deprecating.
Yeah, you got to be self-deprecating. I mean,
even when I started writing, it took me after my first time, I literally drove to the clubs and I just kept going. And then I would go to Governor's on Tuesday, and I think Thursday had the Chuckles. And people would say, why do they have bringer shows? Because that's why some of the clubs are closed, because the bringer shows help make money for the clubs.
You need those people, yeah.
We're making money. Yeah, you want to make money for the club.
Right.
And if you don't make money for a club, whether it be a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If a business doesn't make money, no matter what type of business, they're gonna close down.
Right. Exactly.
And I used to. And my point being is, I used to go to the nights, and I was just beginning. I was so nervous because they had a beautiful showroom, but they was lucky if there was 10 people in this. I don't know if it sat over 200, but it was huge. And so it was lucky if there was like 12 to 18 people there on the Thursday nights.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I guess you know.
And this was back in like
starting,
96,
back
97.
in 96, 97.
And then one night, my third time on stage, they had it must have been a benefit show because it was sold out. And they said, Evan, you're going to do 4 minutes. And Kevin James was there. This was right.
Kevin James.
This was, I think, before he got King of Queens.
Okay. So
And
right
I did
before
really well in the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But like it's if you can have a full crowd and not do well. If you have an empty crowd, it's harder to do well with an empty crowd. You know, you have to make 12. I've done well with 4 people there. I've done well with a full crowd, and sometimes it's just hard to get a laugh. You know?
Yeah. No.
But sometimes you do well. If you're a good comic, you'll do well most of the time.
Right. Yeah.
That's why the great ones get paid because they know how to get laughs every.
Well, even then, some of them, they bomb. I mean, again, I go back to that Bill Burr on SNL. I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, it was still hard to watch because I'm like, this crowd is so
it's to
woke
be
whatever.
the certain elite comic. You got to take those risks to bomb, whether you're going to offend somebody or not. To be the super elites, you're going to take those risks.
Yeah, and I think they get to a point where they also kind of just don't give a. You know,
I don't.
Not in the sense that they don't care. I think they still want to make people laugh, but you know what I mean. They're gonna say what they want to say.
Yeah, they're creative.
The Chappelle's, they're like
creative process.
Right,
the creative
right.
juice.
Yeah.
They don't want to be censored in a certain way.
Exactly. They hate that more than anything.
That's the best comics. They know how to push those limits to get those laughs. You know, and if you want to play it safe, you might get more laughs and get more work. But, you know, to get to the next level, boom. But again, some of my favorite comics, they don't talk anything about politics. Brian Regan's tremendous.
Right.
You don't talk about politics. Just a lot of it's self-deprecating. But again, and then some of my other favorite comics, like Nick DiPaolo, politics.
Total politics, yeah.
You know?
Again, as long as you can make it funny, you know. I'd probably be somewhere in between. I'd probably lean even more towards non-politics. Not just, again, because I don't care about offending people, but I don't think you get quite the hysterical laughter that you do when you're self-deprecating, because people can relate to those stories, especially when you make fun of yourself, because, you know, they go through those same sort of experiences, you know, and they've heard enough about politics. They've heard enough about, you know, they know what's going on in the country, and, you know, and especially if you're just bashing one side like Trump, you know, it might be funny, but after a while,
just to make money doing comedy is very hard. I've had 30-plus jobs in my life, maybe 50. Some jobs I had a job for a day. Sometimes I had a job at Pizza Uno. They let me go not even after orientation.
What do you mean? Like you go?
The middle of orientation, after like the lunch break, they said, "Oh, we hired too many people."
Oh shit!
They hired too many men, and the cute girls. Well, that's my opinion, but they hired. What did I do?
Right.
What did I do wrong on orientation?
Right. I remember that Pizza Uno. That's not around either? Is it?
I don't know if there's still. There used to be one out in Lake Grove. There was one in Brooklyn where my cousin lives.
I used to love that place.
I don't know if it's still open. But yeah, they hired me, and then they said, "Oh, we hired too many people. Sorry."
Yeah.
And then they said, "You're gonna have to go to pizza training, whatever." Okay, whatever.
Means. Yeah. What, to teach how?
I got let go of on lunch break.
That's a hell of a way to get fired. Yeah, not even through orientation yet.
I got let go at the end of a shift at a diner.
Any particular reason? Or they
he said, "Oh, you weren't good enough.
You weren't good enough."
First of all,
were you a waiter or
I was a waiter. Yeah. First of all, he sent me on the computer system. That's fine. I had 0 days training on the computer system. I never said I knew everything.
Right.
I came in from not Applebee's. I came in from 6 months from working at Fridays, and before that, 6 months working at Ruby Tuesdays. I had a tuxedo because I worked at a catering hall.
Okay.
Came in there. He said, "Okay, you go on the floor." I'm like, "What? No, just go."
No training, just that's the way it is. That's
What are the specials? What are your desserts? We have everything. What do you want?
Yeah.
Rice pudding, chocolate pudding. It's a diner.
Right. Yeah. We got
And
everything.
every time someone will order this special, we're out of that.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Why don't you tell me you're out?
I know.
One day they fired.
One day?
It's at the end of the shift,
Jesus.
yeah.
Well, it's like you guys didn't freaking tell me anything. You didn't teach me anything. It surprises me how many. I've done jobs like that. It's
I wasn't
like
completely terrible. I don't
throw you out there. I'm sure you weren't. You need a little bit of, give me like a instruction manual. Give me the menu just so I can look over it, for Christ's sake, because it's the worst feeling to go out there and be like, I don't know, You tell me what you want, and I'll see if it's in the back.
I had a sales telemarketing on training, the first week of training, of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and at the end of Thursday said, "Yeah, we don't think this job's for you."
Wow! I
didn't even go through training. I made it to the 4th day.
And this is for a telemarketing gig.
Telemarketing, like, jeez. Maybe it's good because I would be so great at that telemarketing.
Yeah, you probably liked that. Probably
they had
good
this whole script. It was really probably would have been so hard.
Oh, yeah, well, they lay everything out for you, right? This is like exactly what you want you to say and stuff like that. No, trust me, I've been there. I've had jobs where I think I was like at Abercrombie and Fitch when I was younger.
Yeah.
And they like stuck me in the girls section with the girls' clothes, and I'm like, and then no training, no nothing. You think I know anything about panties and bras and belt sizes on a chick? You know what I'm saying? So the girls are coming in asking me, you think, where are your blouses, or what size is like a medium in girls? I don't know what size a freaking medium in a girl's. What do I look like? You know what I'm saying? You think I wear medium girl size clothes? And I'm like touching panties and shit, and I feel like a pervert. And I'm like, sweetheart, I don't. So I had 2 days, and they were like, all right, yeah, you gotta go. It's not working out. I'm like, well, what did you think was gonna happen? Sticking me over here,
I worked at a collection agency, not far from here, by the Hicksville train station.
Okay.
A little bit down the road there.
Okay.
For like a year and 8 months.
How'd that go?
I had a joke I wrote about that. I might as well tell it.
Yeah, go on.
You're not good in collections when you go into work every day and you have to call yourself.
Yeah.
I'll just leave reminders. Funny. Evan, pick up milk, eggs. Who are you kidding? You can't afford such luxuries.
That's funny. That's funny. And you were there for a year and 8 months.
A year and 8 months, yeah. I worked at Rent-A-Center. I think that was like 2.5 or 3.5 years.
Okay. And were you trying to do comedy during all this too?
Rent-A-Center is kind of hard because the hours are very tough.
Yeah.
The regular hours are 48 hours a week. And then if you work that extra day, it would be 56 hours. If you work 6 days, they begged you to work your day off, because they will close Sundays.
Right.
But if they want you to work your day off and you work that day, you work 56 or close to 6. Yeah, it's almost 60 hours.
That's brutal. That's brutal. I thought 40 was brutal, but 46, 56,
48,
48, and
48, yeah.
And you're.
So I was waking up like 6 a.m., go to the gym. This is when I was like 100 pounds less than I am now.
And this is when you were working at Rent-A-Center, so you had time. You were going to the gym?
I was 90 pounds less than I am now.
Right.
I was wake up, do an hour cardio, lift one body part, and then go home, shower, breakfast, lunch, go work 10 hours or whatever, go to sleep, do it all over again.
Wow. Yeah.
I would get off like 7:30. By the time I'm sweaty, exhausted,
exactly.
And by the time I shower, go anywhere, I wouldn't know.
Time to go to bed, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to go to a comedy.
Even
an open mic, you're exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, did you hate it though, or are you kind of like, is it?
It really
just
ruined me mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I didn't need surgery, but I thought I did. Hernia on my side. But it was just like a muscle tear. But it was so painful. I ended up getting a job at the collection agency, which they lied about my pay. But then with the travel...
Should have filed some workers' comp there or something.
I don't know. But I already got the other job. They said, you're going to be making... They showed me all the top people. First, they walked me through the facility. and they had these training centers
Uh-huh.
with all the calls, and they said, here's a row of all the phone calls, and here's a center, here's a line of all the phone calls. We're just building this place up, and this is where we're going to have our new center.
Right.
And meanwhile, he was a complete liar because they shutting that side of the building down and consolidated everybody into this one room, which used to be the lunchroom.
Right. Yeah.
And everything was into that other room.
So yeah,
They weren't expanding; they were
downsizing.
downsizing.
Really.
Yeah.
So like kind of trickery, and they pull that shit all the time.
And then I did make the extra. They said, "Oh, you're gonna make X amount of money, $12.75," but they lied to me about my hourly, and they said, "Oh, don't worry, you'll make it up in commission." To make commission, you had to hit 28,000, and once you hit the 28,000 of collections, that's your zero starting point, and you get 4% on anything above 28,000.
Jesus. That sounds like a complete ripoff.
A lot of these top guys would do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, no matter how good or bad, you need new work.
Right.
They didn't give me new work.
Right.
They'd give me one or two new
clients or whatever the heck.
People. They call it paper.
Okay.
We had 6-month paper from whatever bank it was. It was a credit card. Let's say Bank of America. I forget what company, but we would have 6 months from Visa or MasterCard. We say, hey, after they'd go through their in-house collections, 3 months, 2 months, and maybe another collection agency, whatever. But after 6 months, this collection agency would get it.
Right.
And then they go, oh, here's your new work for the day, and I'll have one, maybe two people to call, not phone numbers, 2 people to call. And sometimes there'd be one phone number is disconnected, and that was it. Or then you go to the next person, and then it'd be, okay, there's no numbers. They go, okay, try to find it.
So, yeah, basically good luck.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and then the next day, all right, I have nothing new to call. I'm like, how am I going to make this 28,000?
Well, that's the thing. You can't because it's all commission, right? So you couldn't really basically.
Well, I'd get my hourly plus commission.
Right. But there was no way to really make that.
I did make it one month. Another month I hit it, but then I went in the negative, but lower than the 28,000 because there was a bounce check.
Well,
but it would have been a small commission.
Right.
Well, it would have been a Pyrrhic victory.
Trust me, we've all been there. Oh, I've had a million jobs.
But one month I made an extra $2,000. I mean, if I could make $2,000 every month, there were people doing that. I don't know if they were. All the
maybe connections.
I don't know if all the accounts were going to these two people, the two head people.
Probably what it was. Probably knew somebody or something like that.
I don't know if they give them money under the table. But the two.
Again,
there was only the two top people.
Same sort of thing in personal training. They do that kind of thing. They'll feed certain clients, certain people they like, or money on their table or anything like that.
But I can't be paranoid. These two people would always get to make those commissions.
Yeah.
2 or 3. There was another guy. I'm not going to say names. But there was another guy. He would talk in legal terms, and he'd know what to say. And not push the limits.
Right.
And so, he'd scare people just enough, but not say anything wrong.
Right.
But he'd use these legal terms.
Well, that's what you got to do.
But you can't say, I'm going to sue.
Right.
You can't say things like that because then they can sue you.
Yeah, so he wouldn't cross the line, but he'd go right up to it.
But he would say these things that look
persuasive way.
Yeah,
right.
See,
sounds legit.
But I don't know. He would hit these numbers, and he was falling asleep every day on some sort of pills. I don't know I don't know what he was on. But he was falling asleep on some sort of pills.
That's how he was.
I can only assume. But another guy was a good collector. He was only there for the first few months. The manager just got promoted. Didn't like him because the guy was a pothead.
Oh, well.
But he
I've worked with a few of those, but
he was always hitting those numbers. He was supposedly one of the top guys in the office.
Well, that's one of the funny things I work with guys like that. They're complete, drug addicts, spotheads, but they're the earners. And I don't know if it's the drugs. Maybe they're just, like they're more engaged. They feel better. Like, yeah, I got no problem. I can talk for days. They could be great at those kind of jobs. But, hey, do you mind if in the last few minutes someone's just going to call in? And,
call in,
the three of us, we can.
Is that one of your buddies?
Yeah, one of my buddies.
Yeah.
It might be the drunk guy, so this should be fun.
Have him call in.
But, yeah. So I figure, the last 15 minutes. But let's see what he has to say. He's been blowing up my phone. But
do I know him, or is he a buddy of yours?
No, he's a buddy of mine. He's a pretty. I have this group called Cancel Democrats. Which,
okay.
Yeah, I was invited to join. I gave you his email. You try it, and let's see how wasted he is. But
is he calling your cell? Or
he'll call my number, and then it should come in on Skype. It's one of those things. He can see us, but I can't see him. However, this technology works. I don't know. But
I'm looking at myself in the monitor. It doesn't look like I'm on my deathbed. Maybe I lost 5 pounds.
No, you look pretty good, man. You look pretty good. Don't worry. Yeah, you can see yourself over there too.
I've been walking 2 hours a day.
Really? That's great, man. I need to get back in there. I tried to go work out today, but I didn't even wake up till like 11:30.
Yeah, I rushed. I rushed to do my back and then shower.
Yeah.
I think he's on. Is he on?
What's up? I sent you his email. Oh, no, you know what? I didn't. I just sent it probably to him.
Are you high?
Yeah, I might be. I think I took a couple of too many Xanax last night. But, are you watching the fight tonight? Did I ask you about that? You said
if I can if I can get to my friend's house, if I'm invited. Otherwise,
yeah,
I don't think they have.
They can't go to like bars or anything.
You can't go to Dave and Buster's anymore. No.
Is that where you typically would go for like a fight or something like that? Or
yeah, they used to charge to get in, but I don't think Corona. They don't.
Are they even open?
I don't know if they even open.
See, that's the thing. I don't even know.
My friend has it at his cousin's house, but I don't know if I'm invited. I gotta call him.
Yeah, well, I had a friend who was said come over, and then he's like, "Oh, I might have COVID," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's great." And then, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's craziness nowadays because everybody's afraid to have too many people over, or this or that. What's up? You got it? Live?
Yep.
Hey, Trav, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. How you doing? You live right now?
Nice.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good. And here with my friend and a comedian. His name is Evan Weiss. Say what up to Evan. You can say hi, Evan.
How's it going?
What up, Evan?
Yeah,
I see you in the screen all the way over there.
Where?
Yeah,
there he is.
Oh, you got a head like mine. That's good.
Trust me, I'm almost there. So us bald guys got to stick together.
Oh, you're not bald. You still got a hairline. You still got a
hairline. But look at it's like an airport landing strip now. The hair used to be like 2 inches down.
Still got
a little.
Is this your buddy Trav? I hear he's a real liberal.
Yeah, his guy's
my name is Thomas Howard.
Thomas Howard, that's right. Okay. Thomas Howard.
Yeah.
No, that's his real name, Thomas Howard. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
I've just been watching the last 30 minutes or so, and yeah, man, it's good to pop my my podcast cherry.
Yeah, well, you should have heard the first hour. We were going hard on the politics. So, who's that? What do you got there? Who's that? What's his name?
That's Wesley.
Wesley?
Is that a little puppy? I can't see.
Yeah, he's about 7 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can only see about half of them. We weren't sure if it was a puppy or a rabbit or a raccoon or whatever you got over there.
It looks like a little doe.
My killer rabbit.
Your killer rabbit. Yeah, rabbits can be vicious, man. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this guy's, drinking the beer. I like it live. We should have brought it. Yeah, you said you had some beers. My producer said he had some beers, and then he held out on us. I don't know what happened.
Saturday night. We got the fight coming up.
I feel you. Yeah, how you feeling about the fight?
Yeah, I just want to see some people beat on each other.
Yeah, I just want to see someone die, basically, right?
Yeah.
I just want to see
not
die too much. Yeah. But who are you betting on? You betting on Connor?
Nah, I don't know. He seems too nice.
Connor seems too nice. The new Connor seems too nice. That's the first. I've never heard someone refer to Connor as too nice.
Bro, he was all like respectful and jolly.
And he did that. He did that to Cowboy, and then he beat the shit out of him in 40 seconds.
I think he doesn't want to lose his mind before the payday. I think he's actually learning.
I don't think that guy ever needs another payday.
No, he doesn't. He certainly doesn't, but it can't hurt.
But it can't. He doesn't want to lose his payday. Let's put it that way.
At this point, he's doing, I think he's boys with Dana, and I think they know him being involved whatsoever is just a money generator.
Yeah. Well, I think he's looking for that fight with Khabib. And then I also think he's always talking boxing. I think he wants that fight with who's the guy? Not Mayweather. Who's the other guy?
He's on the way.
Pacquiao. He's always talking about a fight with Pacquiao. He's only 30. I mean, the guy's still young.
I saw that other fight against. He had the boxing match against.
Against Mayweather. It was a good fight. He did pretty well.
I don't see why they even needed to stop it.
I don't think they should have, because if you've watched UFC again, right? Remember him in the Nate Diaz fights against Conor versus. He would get tired, he would get winded, and then he'd come back in the later rounds and look like a new man. Some guys just have that.
He's in great shape. Boxing's different. They have to go a lot more rounds.
For sure.
And he really held in against a pro. Champion,
possibly the best fighter of all time. Certainly the best defensive fighter. I mean, look, I loved it. He did some dirty little MMA things, a little like cheap shot here,
and I don't think he did it purposely. It's just when your body's programmed a certain way. Your muscles used to go in.
For sure, yeah. But so I was telling you, Travis. I was telling him, Travis is a hardcore liberal. I think AOC is his role model.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Is that AOC on the back of your wall back there? Is that?
Nice. Are you Jewish?
Jewish flag.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah, Evan is too.
All day.
All day. I like it.
I couldn't tell.
No, I couldn't tell. Is it
my whininess?
Oh,
him. Oh yeah, I don't even need to see you. I could just hear it in the voice.
You can just hear it in the voice. I think that's only Jews are allowed to say that. I don't know if I'm. Is that one of those things?
Am I Jewish enough?
The flight in was terrible.
It's so cold. It's so cold in the studio.
That's fair enough. Touche.
And I'm from Delaware, so I know the Jersey Jews, I know the New York Jews. All my family's New York Jews. So.
Oh, my parents are from the old country, Brooklyn.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Those are the hardcore Jews.
And then they moved down to Delray.
Delray Beach. Nice.
Everyone came in through New York. Fucking Little Odessa, all the Russians, and now Crown Heights, you got the Hasids everywhere.
Yeah, my great grandparents from Ukraine, Kiev.
Nice.
Where are yours from? Do you know your ancestry like that, or?
Sorry, me?
No,
yeah. My brother goes crazy with the Ancestry.com stuff, and he's always sending out updates. But something interesting, actually. There was like a carriage accident like 3 generations back where a bunch of my relatives got orphaned, and like we hit a brick road there. We can't figure out whatever happened past this carriage accident.
So you're probably Amish, not Jewish.
It's very well. Hey, I grew up around Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right on that Delaware-Pennsylvania border, man. Those Pennsylvania. It's so funny. All my friends, we all have this theory that they're all just drug fucking pushers because they can get away with anything. They can just roll in on their horse and buggy, and no one gives them any slack.
Well, they had that show. What was it, Amish Mafia, for a little while there.
Did you grow up near Hanover, where they make the pretzels and potato chips?
Not Hanover, no, but I do love me some kettle cooked and some soft pretzels.
I did a show years ago in Hanover, and the whole town smelled like potato chips.
Really?
Pretzels, yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, the factory's there. Hanover potato chips in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I grew up. I grew up like 20 minutes outside of Philly. I grew up, making cheesesteaks, and I still say to this day, Northern Delaware has better cheesesteaks than Philly. And you just drive 20 minutes south, very nice.
Very nice. Well, if I was in Philly, I might take offense to that. I don't know which.
I don't go fuck. I'll put up any day of the week. Taste test.
I feel you.
Get a Pat's, get a Geno's, get a Jim's on South Street, and then get a Capriotti's or a Pickles and Chips in Delaware. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be
Yeah, you know your shit.
Then you get robbed.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get robbed.
And then you get robbed, and you get addicted to heroin, and everything is pretty much downhill.
You said you're in Delaware, right? I mean, so isn't that where Biden's...
No, I grew up in Delaware.
Oh, you grew up in Delaware. Okay, yeah. Whose home state is that? Oh, right, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yeah, because he's...
Did you ever meet Corn Pop? Did you ever meet Corn Pop?
I did. I never met
Corn Pop?
Because he was there since he left when he was 6 years old.
No. Here's the thing. Here's some insight from a real Delawarean here.
All right.
It's bullshit. The whole thing, Joe being a Delaware senator, it's bullshit.
It is.
You watch his speeches, depending on if he's in Pennsylvania, depending on if he's in Delaware, right. he will claim whichever one.
Yeah, he changes his tune totally.
If he's in Pennsylvania, he's going to talk about being the Scranton kid, you know. And if he's in Delaware, he's going to talk about fucking Delaware, obviously. And it's
yeah.
Oh, did we lose the Skype? We lost.
Sometimes with that, the Skype's a little shady. It comes in and out. There you go. You're back.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me? You
said Biden and then NSA.
You said fuck Delaware, and then
I think he said Biden and then NSA locked on you.
The NSA. Yeah. He's in there now, so he's following you. Thomas Howard.
I started talking about it, but no. What I'm saying is, in Delaware, everyone has a Biden story. Whether it's Joe or not, everyone has a Biden story, especially in Wilmington, which is, basically where everything happens in Delaware. Just cornfields and fucking chickens, the rest of the state, pretty much. We do have beaches, for what it's worth. Delaware beaches are pretty gnarly. But yeah, Delaware sucks, and Joe Biden sucks, and depending on where he is, if he's in Pennsylvania, he'll talk about how he's the young Scranton kid growing up.
Right.
And Delaware, he'll talk about how he's from Delaware, and he picks and chooses, and it's bullshit. He's been full of shit his whole life, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I've been pretty deflated the last couple of days.
Oh, trust me, tell me about it. I think most of us have, and that's what pissed me off. He was talking about he goes to Pennsylvania, says I'm not ending fracking, and then 2 days later we're banning fracking, and then now he's back fracking. So fracking.
I gotta play devil's advocate again. I don't think he knows where he is. I don't think he knows what state of mind he is or what state he's in.
Videos the last 2 days. So there's a video of him signing something, and they boost the sound, and you can hear him saying, "I don't know what I'm signing here."
You're right. On one of the executive orders, I think it was.
Yeah.
And just to get in that real quick, after he signs the mask mandate, the second executive order he gives, he talks about underrepresented communities. Then he mumbles. I don't even know what he says, and then he just throws out the word equity. And of course, I was talking about this the other day. I almost fell out of my chair. That equity, right?
The mask mandate on federal property, and then the next scene is him at the Lincoln Memorial.
He was talking about that earlier. He brought that up earlier. Yeah,
the guy shouldn't be in office running a security office.
No, he shouldn't be running Kohl's management.
I wouldn't have him as manager of a subway.
No, the guy he should be in a senior citizen home.
Kamala should be president. God forbid I say that, but
please listen.
She should be president at this point. The guy's so senile.
You're saying the obvious thing that was supposed to happen from the start. That's.
I just want to know who's Kamala.
Joe Biden was just supposed to usher in Kamala, and that was organized, planned from the start.
I won't be shocked if they invoke the 25th or he resigns or something like that in the next year, and then all of a sudden there she is.
Well, that's why Nancy Pelosi got through for the 25th. She knew this whole election was going to be fit. It wasn't for Trump; it was for Biden to get him out. Yeah. She was already planning. She was planning this.
Talking about the 25th during Trump was just a primer, just kind of prodding a little bit to see if they would get away with it a couple of years later.
They got away with everything.
A year later.
They did get away with everything. Yeah, that's what's so scary. And then it's they're the sorest losers or winners, I should say. They've platformed all of us. Everybody. Parler, we were talking about this again, and just at the drop of a hat. That just shows you the kind of power they have. So you don't think they can't rig an election? Get the hell out of here. They own all the power centers, big tech, media. They own all, the school campuses, where they influence everybody, all these kids' minds. So look, they're smart. They know the end game. They're playing the long game here, you know. They've controlled all the centers of power. So it might be like basically like a 50-50 split in terms of Republican Democrat, but it's not equal, you know, because we're more the blue collar, you know, a hardworking kind of guys, you know. And what did they say? They said, hey, look, if you don't want to be on Instagram, you don't like our censorship, go find another platform. We did that. Parler, you know, and then what do they do?
What do they do?
Shut us all out. Shut us all out. And just the way they did it so quickly, 24/7. And I'm sure you've watched some of those congressional hearings. They admitted Facebook, Google, they talk to each other all the time, you know?
Here's the thing about those hearings. You know, we as people, we should not give any mind whatsoever to those fucking congressional hearings ever again. By the way, can I curse? Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
To drop as many as you want. Go crazy.
We should never, ever give those congressional hearings ever, like, zero mind. It's show. It's theater. These people, they have these hearings. Stuff comes out, good or bad. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens.
No,
I mean, sick. The Russia hoax stuff, I mean, so much stuff came out in hearings. People lied under oath constantly, consistently.
Comey, Page, McCabe, they all lied.
They all lied. And I'll tell you what, I was a big fan of Trey Gowdy, if you guys are familiar.
Yeah, of course. And now he's a freaking pundit on Fox News.
Amazing guy, amazing prosecutor. Apparently that guy's never lost a case in his entire career. You know, he becomes a congressman and just nothing. Yeah. He gets people to look so ridiculous. You can go back and look at Trey Gowdy highlights on YouTube and stuff, you know? And it's like, oh, those are really cool highlights. It's hilarious. He gets people to just stumble and just walk into traps the same way a prosecutor would in court. But what happens? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and it goes across the board.
It goes. Politics, yeah, it's a show. It
is. No, I'm totally with you. Lindsey Graham, Jim Jordan's, when they're up on those stands, they're asking tough questions. Right after those hearings end, they're flip-flopping or they do nothing about it, you know? I mean, the big tech, you know, how could they not have gotten rid of that Title 39 exemption for the big tech, big tech companies? I mean, how hard is that to do? How hard is that to get passed? So, yeah, some of them they even get money from Google. Some of them, I mean, you know, for their campaigns and such. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for them to fight.
The problem is the Republicans try to play by the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're too nice for too long.
Outside of McConnell, I have some respect for because, like, when he just shut down the Merrick Garland thing, he was like, "Fuck this." Yeah. You know,
McConnell's another rhino.
Well, he's a total establishment guy, but at least you know what, he had the balls to say, "Hey, you know what? Bring it on."
Guy.
You know,
another deep state guy.
There were 3 years, or sorry, not 3, maybe 2. There were 2 years where we had the presidency.
Yes.
Yeah. And what did we do?
We got virtually nothing done.
The problem is 10, 15.
We got literally nothing.
Literally nothing done.
Watch what the Dems are going to do. Watch what they're going to do with all 3 guys. We're going to be in gulags real soon. Real soon.
The Democrats are united on a far left agenda, and the few rhinos.
And they act.
The few rhinos stalled everything, blocked, and we hired and they got elected the rhinos that blocked everything.
Yeah,
the McConnells, the Flakes.
Yeah, don't even mention Flake.
Because these people,
the Romneys,
they're not on our team. They're not on our team. Republicans are the only people who have traitors within. I mean, straight up, there's no traitors within Democrats. There's no traitors within liberals. Like that team is strong.
And maybe
there's
one guy that's maybe a moderate Democrat, Joe Manchin. And that's it.
But barely. Like on one issue, he like spoke out and he was like, you know, maybe I won't support packing the Supreme Court. But that was about it. It's like, dude, you run West Virginia, the most Republican state in the freaking union, and you can't stand up for anybody.
Can you see it? Oh, there it is.
What is that? Oh, there it is. Very nice. Very nice. WV. I like it. Yeah. All right. So, I appreciate you calling in. I wish you had a little more time, but I'll definitely have you back on. That sound good? That sound all right? We can do a little more time?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
All right. And so yeah, Thomas Howard, and my man Evan Weiss over here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you calling in. So yeah, I'll definitely, maybe we can do this again, and have some more time.
And Thomas doesn't look too drunk. He doesn't sound too drunk.
No, he doesn't. He looks good to me.
No,
he looks good to me. That one beer, I don't think did him in. Yeah. Oh, there we go. He's starting early. I'm jealous now because I need to be. Yeah, he's getting ready for that Connor fight. You sure you're not fighting yourself?
Oh, let's go.
Yes, I know. I've been waiting for that. There hasn't been a good fight in a while.
I would knock myself out so hard. It would be amazing. Should I do it right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
No. Next time. Save that. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. So, best of luck, and we'll speak again. Again soon. All right. Sound good?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, guys.